By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of this series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I'm joined by writer, actor, and comedian Gil Ozeri to talk about the Netflix show Big Mouth, one of my all-time favorite shows. And I'm taking your calls. Topics include why sex ed is so important and needs to be taught differently, the things we all go through growing up, and let's be honest, are still going through now, top tips for going down on your man, and how to make FaceTime sex super hot. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they called them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, I feel so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, you can check everything out at sexwithemily.com. Please follow us on social media across the board. It's all at Sex with Emily. And if you haven't heard, you can catch me Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. on SiriusXMstars, satellite radio, channel 109, for even more sex talk, calls, play games. It's a good time. So check it out, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Gil Ozeri, one of the writers for the Netflix show Big Mouth. If you haven't seen Big Mouth yet, please check it out. It is amazing for, I believe, teenagers and adults and anybody who's ever had sex. So enjoy this episode, guys. Thanks for listening. I want to welcome Gil Ozeri. He wrote for a lot of shows you all know, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Happy Endings, including one of my favorites, Big Mouth on Netflix. Hi, Gil.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you were able to come in because we're all obsessed.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm very happy to be here.
Good. Well, it's great to see you. So for people who haven't seen Big Mouth, how would you explain Big Mouth?
I would say it's a show about some kids who are going through puberty, and some of them are having a harder time than others. And basically the conceit of the show is that they can talk to their hormone monsters and monstresses, who, often have direct them as to how to behave. And it's about dealing with that and dealing with puberty and dealing with all types of things that you sort of deal with around that age, around 7th grade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It takes you right back into animated series.
Yes.
And so, first of all, it's everything that, we talk about in the show, but it's hilarious. But it does take you back to those moments. And like the hormone monster, to me, what a brilliant way to describe to boys in 7th grade who don't know why they're getting erections and how awkward that has to be. Exactly. Or for women having their hormone monster. Why do you hate your mom? And like, why do you hate everyone and scream and yell? And like, just your boobs are growing and all the things that happen. And I just thought, this is probably the most brilliant thing I've ever seen about sex ed for kids. And what do you think about parents showing it to their kids? Do you think I feel like they should at a certain age.
I mean, I know some, I've heard both, how awkward it might be to be watching that, but I hope it can sort of like, straddle both. I think the show is for young people too, and also for adults, and how to talk to their kids and stuff. And if parents can watch it with their kids and get through some of those like hard subjects, then that would be great. That would be awesome.
Because that's the thing, is so many parents always come to me, friends, people on the show, they're like, how do we talk about it? And I know I had terrible sex ed. All I remember is some kid raises his hand and said, "Can you have sex underwater?" Like, that's literally all I remember and nothing else. And then probably like the fallopian tube.
Yeah, I feel like no one ever spoke. Like sex ed was really. No one ever spoke to me about that stuff, especially my parents did not. It was like avoid the subject. And, you know, part of that leads to, and something that we deal with in the second season of Big Mouth is like shame and guilt over this stuff. Right. And just talking about it, you know, it makes it easier to deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, it is true. I mean, and now, like, so what I'm doing now for a living is I take calls from people who are still carrying that shame. A lot of us have shame around everything we do. Every time we have sex, we masturbate, we feel bad. And so it comes. And then what I love is on Big Mouth is that it shows exactly how that starts. You know, that you feel just takes one person saying like, "I can't believe you masturbated," or "You had an erection,"
right,
or "Her boobs get big," and you literally carry. I always say that you carry this around for the rest of your life unless you realize that it's normal. It's like everyone else. There's nothing to be shamed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of this season we started to listen and read and watch videos from people like Brene Brown who talk about like shame and how, you know, the difference between shame and guilt, and like how guilt is like I feel bad and shame is I am bad, and how you can sort of turn all these terrible feelings that people put on you on yourself. And the only way to sort of really deal with that is to talk about them with your friends,
right.
And talk about them with your parents and your loved ones.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if I wish Big Mouth was around when I was a kid, I would, you know, I feel like I would be a more well-adjusted human being.
Exactly. I mean, because it's that one scene in the second season when they're all, it's amazing when they're, I think did you write the final episode?
I wrote the finale, yeah.
The finale,
yes.
Right. I want to. I love the
thank
finale.
you very much. Thank you.
That was so freaking
well,
brilliant.
I should say, when I say write it, it's also like the writer's room. It's everyone
I know,
writes
it's
it
everyone.
together.
Okay, but your name came up first. Right. So what I'm saying is, that scene, I literally rewatched it. I was with my boyfriend. I'm like, I do this when I get excited. I'm like, this is fucking brilliant, because it's like all the kids are like in the gymnasium. I might butcher it, but they're all having their shame about something. Like, I'm worried that no one likes me because I said this thing. Or I'm worried that I was flirting with this girl, or maybe I shouldn't have kissed this boy. And every single person had like this dark cloud of shame around them, right? Which to me like was just brilliant to show that like all the things that we worry about, and as adults we do that as we've all been to parties and have things we're worrying about,
and we're all susceptible to it too.
We are all susceptible.
Yeah.
It was just a brilliant way of handling it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what else is going on with you?
I'm, writing. I just had a kid. Yes,
okay.
A baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you
what
very
kind?
much. A good kind.
Good.
A
Awesome.
sweet kind.
Good.
She's not the devil incarnate, which is good.
Okay, good.
She's sweet. Her name is Nina. She's very cute. She just started walking.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, that changes everything.
She likes to move stuff around the house, from one side of the house to another.
Like the furniture?
Actually, yes. She pushes our coffee table all over the house. So, yeah. We don't want it moved, but yeah, no.
Right. I thought maybe she's a penchant for decorating. Like, that'd be cool if you found out at one. So how has that been? So how long have you been with your wife?
I have 10 years.
Oh, good.
Yeah, at least 10 years.
That's okay. Great.
That's good, right?
So how's your sex life going now?
It's good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Does it change after you have a kid?
Yes, that definitely affects stuff. There's less time, and I would say that at the end of the day, I'm pretty much exhausted, and so is she. So like to get it going is a lot harder.
It
takes more effort. It definitely takes more effort.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you hear about that often, about effort and
every
stuff?
single
sure.
day?
Yeah.
I mean, now we're probably going to get a bunch of calls about that, which is great because I've only been here 3 nights. But we talk a lot about this because what happens is, I think like you have a kid and people don't tell you this that like
they don't tell you anything.
Literally nothing.
Can I curse on here or no?
Yeah, fuck yes.
They don't say jack shit.
No.
I mean, they don't. I feel like even about the birth process, they didn't tell us anything. And then it's just like, I just feel like every day I'm like, this is how it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had no idea. Right. So then the thing about when it comes to like But yeah, parenting, you're exhausted. And then women, they go home from the hospital and their doctor will say like, oh, you'll be good in 6 weeks to have sex again.
Yes.
And for so many women, that's just not the case. They still have pain. Things are still healing.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be, selling out or exposing my wife. She has a lot of like foot pain and stuff. And like it just, you don't want to do necessarily anything like sexual if you have like a ton of pain, and no one told us that might be a possibility.
Do you think that's like a secret, like someone's holding, they don't tell people because they want you to procreate? It's really hard, but it's also the best thing ever. But,
no, it is, but I think they don't want to scare you,
right?
Once you're pregnant, it's just like you don't want to like onslaught of like fears and
exactly. Your sex life will never be the same. But that's not true. It will be. It'll come together again, or maybe it already is. But I just think that we don't talk about how women's bodies change, and that whole process that, a lot of women, we were talking about this earlier, they don't even know their own bodies. And I'm not saying this, I don't know your wife, but I'm saying typical for women, they don't even know that. I was encouraging people, because on my Instagram today, it's @SexWithEmily. On my Instagram, I had this post about women, just take a look. Like, take a look at could you pick your vagina out of a lineup? Because we often don't want to look, we're disconnected, and it's just like, I don't want to look, I don't understand my body. And then you get a baby. Right. You have like a human that goes through your body, right? And then a whole human. And then you get your body back. And you're like, well, I didn't know before.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't even know what's happening.
It's scary to do. And it's like, it's easier to avoid stuff than to actually put in the effort. And I feel like, if you can get over that hump.
Yeah.
And just sort of put the practice in, then it becomes easier. It's hard to get over that hump.
It can be.
It really is.
Yeah. Well, I gave you some treats in a little bag here, because I think what's important. I didn't even know that your baby was 1 year old. But the thing is that I think also, for couples who are going through this, like.
I hope it's celery in there, by the way, because
exactly.
I'm not giving my child candy.
We do candy.
Oh, okay.
But keep it. There's some vitamin
I'll eat
balls.
the candy
okay,
myself.
Good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, here's some peanut M&Ms too.
Okay, good.
If you're into that kind of thing.
The peanut, it's good. I'll eat the chocolate around it.
Okay,
I'll give her the peanut. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What was I going to say? Is that the body that even if intercourse is uncomfortable sometimes, or they're not ready yet, that you can still, the intimacy is important. So even if you guys are like mutually masturbating or massage.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Anything you can sort of do to get close. Like it's so easy also to like have like a hard day and be like, I'm just going to totally veg out on my phone, or I'm going to like go right to a TV show or whatever it is. And if you just sort of connect for a moment, and who knows where it would lead, but like if you use that, that moment to connect and say like, I'm going to set aside this time for us, as opposed to like just checking out.
Exactly.
Then it makes a huge difference, I think.
It does. Just to have that moment, you come home, you put down your phone, or like, you're right. Just that moment you make eye contact.
Yeah. Because there's nothing you want more than like, especially with a kid, I feel like you're like constantly, you have to always pay attention. It's not like that's part of the work, is just like mentally you have to be like, okay, I have to make sure she doesn't fall off anything.
Exactly.
24/7. So like you just want to like veg out, and if you can sort of like say like, okay, I know I need at least at some point to connect, with her or with your loved one or whatever
or the baby in the love.
With my wife, it's like it's so important to do.
Is.
Yeah, to check in.
It's also important. I'm just giving you advice here. No, but
I'll take it.
I will, because I don't.
Maybe we'll use it on a future season of Big Mouth.
Oh
too.
my God!
There's something to say about effort, though, too, like putting in an effort and making sure you're there.
Right, and prioritizing your relationship, because I think people think that it just magically work, and that you don't have to work on the relationship. Oh, because we got married and we're in love, so let's focus on everything else. But it needs just as much work as. What you're going to eat, your nutrition and your health.
Yeah, you've got to be there. You've got to be there, and you've got to show up.
Yeah,
I feel like,
you got to put in the work. I would come in if your next season on Big Mouth, you need a sex consultant.
Oh yeah, I'll talk to them. Maybe
I would be upset.
We would love to talk to you. I'm sure.
That's not why you're here. What I was going to say though, what I was going to say is that also the other. This is my other point for people with kids. I find this a lot that they don't. They'll have kids and they're like, my kids are 10 and we've never had a night away, just the two of us.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have relatives or someone who can watch, and I know you're like, I can't leave the kid when she's 1.
Right.
But having just one night, like a hotel room away, is
makes a huge difference. I have not done the hotel room thing, and we should. I mean, we're hopefully going on vacation soon, but I mean, we've gone on like movie dates, but like getting away from the actual house might be good too.
Yeah,
Because you start to associate. It's like eating in bed almost. It's like you don't want to like have a sandwich in bed because you're like, that's where I sleep.
Right.
It's just like maybe you don't like. Oh, maybe I'm associating my home with like just home life and work
It's
and
true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's,
hotel would read like more like intimacy.
it's true.
That's a good
And
point.
you can mess up someone else's sheets.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And someone else is going to bring you food.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're just changing the location because one of the big things for people's sex life often is mixing things, is variety. Like we get bored of everything, right?
Yeah.
You do. So just trying one thing different or changing the location. Because your bedroom's probably like diapers and things and
Exactly.
going
Yeah.
over a rattle.
Laundry. Yeah.
That's not hot.
Stains.
So,
You
exactly.
know, from like kids eating blueberries.
Exactly. Right. The whole thing is a mess. Right. So we're going to have you go to a hotel. That's fun. We didn't give you a night hotel, but that would be fun. But I'm just saying.
Putting that in gift.
I'm sorry. I'll take
Where's
back
my
the
car?
vibe later.
I should get a
Jesus.
car in the gift bag.
Exactly. We had a guy just call in and he said that he's like, I don't know. I bought my wife a really nice car and I told her if I gave her this car that she owed me 5 blowjobs and it's
What?
been 2 years and I haven't gotten them. He was
So
trying to
it's
joke
a
it.
transaction.
Yeah, I'm like, did you
Like,
know this?
love is a transaction.
Exactly. I'm like, love should not be a transaction.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's what I thought. So what else are you doing these days? So you're writing.
I'm writing
How
a
is
lot.
that? Like, do you write at home? You go to an office?
I usually go to a coffee shop. I find it
Oh.
extremely hard to. I should get like an office or something, but I find it really hard to concentrate at home. There's just so many distractions, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's my baby, there's video games, there's like my wife. I'll just have a conversation because I don't want to work. You know, like
Right, exactly. No,
so
you gotta
I
get out of the
I feel like I
house.
have to get out. Yeah.
So you guys working on like season 3 now, Big Mouth? Are you? 'Cause I can't wait for it.
We are. I cannot talk about it, but hopefully.
But it's happening though.
I hope so.
Is it as big as we think it is? Like, is everybody freaking out about it?
I've
Has it won
heard it's a
awards?
very. It's really super popular, yeah, and especially among like, you know, it's hard to tell with Netflix because Netflix doesn't really release like rating stuff.
Oh, okay.
But we can tell from like online people speaking online about it, and like I know Nick just went to like a show at FSU, and the entire like there were like thousands of people in the audience. They were all singing like the theme song together. It was like crazy.
It's so
So
good.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, people are watching it, and we're getting like a lot of great feedback and reviews and stuff,
Yeah.
which is always.
I want everyone's kids to watch. So
Cool.
who do you relate to in there? Like which kid were you more like? Were you more like what is it, Andrew or Nick?
Oh, Nick. I mean, part of me was like try to be funny, so in a way like Nick, but also very much Jesse, who I find to be like. I mean, is my favorite character.
Jesse,
yeah,
yeah.
Jesse.
She's
Just
so
because
good.
my parents got divorced around her age, and the way she sort of acted out because of it is something that I went through.
Right.
And how she sort of slipped into depression and stuff like that, and so that sort of I really connected with her character.
Yeah, she's such a good character. You're right.
Thanks.
Same,
Yeah.
How you handled the depression scene that was also in the final episode. right?
That was yes.
We
That
covered
was.
Okay, we talked about the next day because she had the weight of the world. It's
Exactly.
literally depression on
Right.
her as a kid, and like how that feels. Like I want to get up, but I can't.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I
how
wanna move.
alluring it is.
Yeah.
And how alluring she makes it about like watching, a Friends marathon and eating like, ice cream in bed and stuff. And
This is really good.
yeah, it's really good. And oftentimes it could be seductive, as opposed to, this, for example, the shame wizard who makes you just feel bad about yourself, like, or you might not want to come with him or hold his hand on the way there. With like the depression kitty, it felt like it's someone you sort of were like is alluring and it looks better than it actually is.
Right. At first, too, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, Ben and Jerry's is great for dinner. I
Yeah.
love it. It makes me feel so good. And then you're like, you can't get
Yeah.
up. And that was the other, it was like the divorced parents or the mixed marriages, the adopted child, just all the, you could just relate to all, you guys. I feel like you really covered everything, and it is relatable. And I remember like when I was 15, this is something that my mom, and this kind of pisses me off, but I've had a lot of therapy, so I've told her about this. But I was a 15-year-old girl who was like screaming at my mom, I hate you,
Right.
slamming the door. I was really
Why did that
Jesse
happen?
as well.
Were you guys like?
Well, my parents were divorced.
Okay.
Remarried.
Was that hard on you? Was it like an
Please.
amicable?
Oh my
no. Okay.
God. Yeah, the whole thing. My parents, I attended 4 of my parents' weddings when I was 25. So they each got married,
Oh,
divorced,
wow.
married, divorced. My parents first got divorced when I was 9.
I hope you liked like hot dog weenies if you went to 4 weddings.
Oh, right. They weren't fun weddings. No, they didn't even have hot dogs. I wish that would have been fun. No, but even as a kid, though, and then my dad died. There was a lot going on. But I'd say I was 9 when my parents got divorced. And it was just tough. And I remember... But I think what happened when I was 15 was more about just hormones. That's what I love, is that my mom was like, you were such a nightmare when you were 15. I'm thinking, well, you guys got divorced and then you got remarried and I had hormones.
It's hormones. It's like it's like a storm of shit that happens.
Exactly.
I was an angry kid. Like my dad sort of, left at that point and exactly at that age. And I was going through like puberty and I was angry. I didn't know how to direct this anger that I had at my father, and I was with my mom and sort of took it out on her. So our relationship kind of like was really tough for a while, and it's hard because if you're not talking about it with someone, it's really tough.
Right, and most people don't.
Most people don't. Yeah.
And I thought the show Big Mouth was
plus your parents have their own shit that they're going through.
Right.
So
my mom was she was trying to get with another partner, like my stepdad. She was trying to make that work.
Right.
So
exactly.
they can't be available to you.
Yeah.
But you don't know that, and you don't know anything that's going on.
And you don't know to ask for help either. It's
no.
It's a thing, and I think that's something we sort of tried to focus on with Jessie. There is that in order to get out of that sort of depression room, that she has to ask her friends for assist.
Help.
Yeah,
right.
For help.
It's just so well done. I feel like we still don't teach the kids how to regulate emotions and how to share emotions. Like there was a guy we talked to on one of our shows earlier who was saying that he actually wanted to be the guy in his group that started talking about emotions with his guy friends, because guys don't do it as much.
Yeah, no.
So
there's also that. There's like societal stuff that's just like added upon it. It's just like it's really hard to just be open.
I know, we can't. We're going to be So anyway, I thought that was really good. See, now you're going to be so equipped to teach that sex ed to your daughter too.
Oh my God, I'm learning all the time. We've also had like people like Peggy Orenstein come talk to us, and I don't know if you know Shafia Zaloom. Do you know about her?
I know Peggy, but not Shafia.
She's also like a brilliant health educator, sex ed educator. She talks about like consent and stuff like that. And, we did an episode about consent. And we talk to like young people also all the time about like what they're going through and what it's like to be a teenager now, because things have changed with like social media and stuff. And, it's always good to speak to people who are like in the know and dealing with it. Yeah.
No, that's really great that you Peggy Orenstein, her book Girls, was she was a consultant on it, right? Just that book blew my mind. What kids are going through now, like in every age.
It's so much. I'm like, this is so much harder than what I went through too.
Right, and we thought it was hard, but it's like terrifying.
It's terrifying.
And the pressure and the sex and all the things. Yeah. So thank you for your work. It's brilliant. We love it. I think everybody.
I love to hear that.
It is brilliant. Like it's Big Mouth on Netflix. I think take a look if you're a parent, see if you think it's appropriate for your kid,
and if you want to laugh too.
If you want to laugh your ass off. Here was the other brilliant thing: is that I thought it was equally great for adults and kids. You could see, I'm like, oh, that was a joke for me. Like the kids might not get it. Just all of it. I'm impressed. So, and if people want to find you, do you want to give out your social and stuff?
I'm on at Gil Ozeri on Twitter and on Snapchat, and also there was. At Gil Ozeri was not available on Instagram, so I'm at Tall Gil Ozeri.
Okay.
Which is...
okay,
so
that's good.
Any of those.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And we just did a story on Instagram that I tagged you in it, so if you want to check that out, that's awesome. I have 5 questions for you. They're my quickie questions.
Okay.
I ask my guests.
I'll try
Ready?
my best, yes.
Okay, what's your biggest turn on?
Wow. People telling me that they're... people who are really... into me. That is so embarrassing to say.
I love it. No embarrassment.
My wife is. She'll be laughing.
Okay, good. Well, we're all into it. So, okay, biggest deal breaker.
Deal breaker, like in a relationship?
Yeah, or if you met, deal breaker in a relationship.
Dishonesty.
Okay. Sexiest body part to you?
Butt.
Okay. Your go-to first date?
Go-to first date. Coffee shop. Sorry.
You're already there working.
Sorry. I'm already there working. Yeah. Ladies, do you like a laptop?
Exactly. Bring your laptop. It'll be a good time. What would be the top of your sex music playlist?
Sex Okay. This is I'm only saying what comes to my mind. This is so fucking embarrassing.
This is
Holy
so
shit.
fun.
Because I use it in college and it's Lenny Kravitz. Oh God, Believe? Is that the song?
Yeah.
Do you remember that
so.
song?
I do.
Oh God.
Yeah, I love Lenny
Kill
Kravitz.
me. Kill me now.
Yeah, I know the era.
Are you a
sexy.
music person when you have sex? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am.
You are, okay.
Yeah, I listen to a
Can
little
you
bit
give
of
me a
everything.
suggestion of anything that would not embarrass me?
No, I'm trying to think what we listen to. I like hip hop.
Okay.
I really do when I'm having sex. Something like I don't
Something
know,
with a beat.
Yeah, with a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're running a 5K.
Exactly.
sort of.
You know why I like it though?
What?
You know why sex and music is great? Because a lot of people get distracted during sex, and
Oh
if
my
you have
God,
music
yes.
to listen to, you're gonna, at least you won't be as obsessive.
See, I
about
have a
whatever-
tendency to try to make jokes, which is not a good thing.
Wait,
It's
during
not-
sex?
During sex, I'm like, I have an issue because of like when I'm nervous or I'm like, I want to like, I have to like make jokes. That's how I sort of like
Right.
diffuse a
That's
situation.
in your comedy writer.
That's exactly, which is good in some
You make
some
it work.
areas, but like in other areas, it's like don't
I
do
get it.
that.
Yeah. You can be funny all the time, but not here.
Yeah,
Or in
exactly.
the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
I
having
love
me.
this.
I really
This is
appreciate
so great.
it.
Yeah,
And I love what you guys do. So
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. It's great to see you. Thanks for being here. Gil Ozeri. Check him out. GilOzeri.com and Tall Gil Ozeri on Instagram. Check out Big Mouth on Netflix. You have to. Please do yourself a favor. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're getting into your calls. We've got Jackie, 24 from Boston, and she's seeking some blowjob tips and feels abnormal for lack of sexual experience. Jackie, thanks for calling in. You've come to the right place.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, thanks for having me. Nothing.
Of course.
So basically, when I was a freshman in high school, I witnessed, a lot of my guy friends talking about girls they had hooked up with and just kind of making fun of maybe like their preferences, something about their bodies, maybe something that was weird that happened while they were having sex. And that made me super insecure. So I actually avoided like all hookups, sex, all of that for a long time. And now I'm 24. I've only had sex with 2 different people, total of like 3 times. Up until a few weeks ago, I had never given a blowjob. And, those insecurities are definitely the reason why I'm just so, sexually inexperienced. And I wanted to see if you had any advice on how I can kind of get out of my comfort zone and just have a better sex life.
Absolutely. Well, first off, I love that you know that this is because you can kind of pinpoint it to the people in high school and not wanting to be, that person that they talked about. And so now you're like, okay, so let's go to it. So, here's the thing, Jackie. First of all, I think we have this notion that we should be so experienced and we should already know what we're doing. But, you're 24 years old. Like, I think in your head, whatever you're thinking, that everyone's way far ahead of you. They're not. And so I just want you to feel good about that. Know that like this is the kind of thing like you learn on the job. Penises are different, vulvas are different. So if you can kind of just rest into that, knowing that like every time you face a penis, it's a new penis, it's a new day. They all want different things. I mean, there are some basic things I can talk to you about blowjobs, but I want to work on your anxiety around this first. Just knowing that like if you're present, like my number one tip for a blowjob is being into it and being enthusiastic, like wanting to be there. So just know that like that, and that's just like, I'm into it, I'm licking this, I'm trying, and then asking for, hey, how does this feel? So you're good. But I am going to give you more tips, but just know that you're starting from a great place.
Okay, awesome. That makes me feel better.
Okay, good. That's what we want to do. So we've got that. And so here's some important tips about a blowjob. You want to make sure that it's wet enough, right? So you have enough like saliva. I think lube is great. Like have some lube by the bed. Have some lube with you. We love Joe's flavored lube. They make some lube that like tastes like watermelon. They have some that tastes like chocolate. It's fun, or just regular lube. Sometimes our mouth isn't wet enough. So just so you have it nearby, you want it to be wet. And just remember this too. A lot of people are like, oh, my mouth hurts, my jaw, your hand. For so many blowjobs, your hand is like your best friend. Like it's really not just about like your mouth going all the way down, like deep throat, the whole thing you see in porn. It's really about, so the first thing is you want to make sure it's wet enough. The second thing is that you want to make sure that there's enough friction. And so you want like we can start with your hand, like going up and down and along the shaft. and just, and putting your mouth over the tip. The tip is like for a lot of guys, the most sensitive part of the penis. And also the frenulum, which is the frenulum is the spot where, and a lot of guys don't even know this, so I'm letting you in on something that they don't even know this. Where the tip meets the shaft on the other underside of the penis, right? So there's this little spot right on the shaft as it attaches. So it's the underside, and it's kind of like how women have like a G-spot, but for men, it's like this really sensitive spot. So when you're like licking his penis, you can kind of focus on that area and move your tongue around. So really you want to make sure it's wet. You've got some friction with your hands. You're going up and down, and you're like, sucking on the tip, taking your mouth around, using, licking it like it's the most delicious ice cream cone you've ever had, and you're into it. Not like a fake into it, but if you have to fake it first, fine. And then ask for feedback. Be like, how is this? And I think it's really hot if you're vulnerable with a guy and you're like, I don't have a lot of experiences, but I want to give you the best blowjob ever. Or I really want to turn you on. Tell me what feels good. And you're into it. You've already you're light years ahead of some woman who's pretending that she knows everything when you don't. So ask him, do you like your balls played with? How does this feel? I think it's okay because believe me, guys would rather have a good connection and get what they want as well. So that you could learn along the way. But no apologies. No, I'm sorry's. No, I don't know. More like, this is new. I'm excited. Let's do this. Tell me what feels good.
Oh,
no teeth,
okay.
too.
I like that approach to it.
Yeah. So.
That makes it seem less scary.
Yeah, good. That's what I want for you because it's really not scary. It's just a new thing. You're going to get into it. You're going to learn to love it or like it, and you're going to be great. So, awesome. And also you probably know the teeth thing. That was the first thing I learned. They're like, no teeth. So you kind of just want to make sure that your mouth is going over your teeth. Yeah. You probably know that. That's like BJ Lore. No teeth. Okay, you got this, girl. Thank you so much for calling Sex with Emily.
Awesome.
Okay, bye, Jackie. You're so welcome. You guys, let's talk about sexual I'm putting this in air quotes, inexperience. I think we all worry I'm not experienced and I should know so much more. And I just think, can we all just get rid of that? You should be coming from some other place and you should know so much more. Every time you're with a new partner, it's a new experience to connect with that person. And if you're in the moment, you're present and you're paying attention to that person, their reactions, what they're into, you're asking questions, then that's going to be the best kind of sex you can have with that person in that moment, paying attention, being present, not tripping in your head about what you don't know. Okay? So love this call. Thank you for calling. Okay, we have John. He's 44 from Virginia, and he has a penis injury, and it's affecting penetration with his wife. I'm sorry about your injury.
I had a groin injury. It's probably been about 8 years ago now.
Okay.
And slowly over time, it affected the size of my penis. I've been to a couple doctors, and I don't know. It's been a while since I've been, but it's scar tissue and stuff like that. The problem is, I really wasn't that large to begin with. I was only like 3.5. I've been married now 17 years, and really wasn't an issue. Wasn't that important to her. But with the injury and whatever happened from that, and by the way, I'm 6'1", 215 pounds. I'm not overweight at all.
Okay.
That now an erect penis is 2 1/4 for me, and it's inverted when I'm, soft, and it's not only a problem for my wife, but it's also a problem for me because it's just difficult to have sex like that. I mean, we just end up sliding on each other, and my wife and I have talked, and she loves me. We have a good relationship, but she even said, size really isn't an issue until it's an issue, which is now.
Okay.
And I can tell that it's I can tell that it's affected her. She's honest, and she loves me.
Right, of course.
But,
is it more about the size, or because it sounds like there's two things going on? You were thinking that the size might be an issue, but it sounds like it's more that it's painful for you as well, and so you can't really, get into it as well.
It's not because I don't know how to explain it, but it's just not enough to
I get it.
work with.
Okay, I get it.
What I'm saying?
So you can't do
I'm not thick by no means.
I understand. So it's not even right. It's smaller now, and
she
can't really
get on top. There's missionary, with her legs all the way back, but she says, when she's really turned on, that she can't even tell if I'm in or not. And
okay.
The truth is, I can't either. So I'm having a problem orgasm because, it won't stay in. It just, it's not enough to work with. And I talked to one specialist years back, but he just said the risk versus reward was just not worth it.
There's nothing great out there for men. Like, you can't do any kind of penis enhancement in that way, or so. Okay, so let's talk about what we can do here, because I know that we think of sex as this, penis, vagina, sex, and intercourse should just be one way. But what I think is, you guys have a great opportunity here to actually really work on expanding what your sexual repertoire is. So, I feel like for so many women, size isn't that big of an issue. It's more about getting pleasure, and it's not even that, most women can't even orgasm with, large any size penis. They don't orgasm that way. So have you guys done, played with foreplay, oral sex? Have you used toys? I mean, you could use a toy on her.
Yeah, we do. And I think that's what's brought it to a head now is, like I said, this has been 6 years of this. And we've gotten the hollow strap on, that just kind of goes over you. And I think it's just, for me, it's not the same, but even for her, it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome to play with the toys and use the hollow feel of it. Like she will say, I just want the real thing. I want
right.
real
No, I understand.
Too.
Right.
And,
no. Yeah.
And usually, most of the time, at this point, I reach orgasm rubbing on her because it just won't. I'll not explain it, but it just
I get it. I totally get it.
It's not enough to deal with. And,
right.
And it's a couple of embarrassing days. I did happen to see, a text where she had confided in a friend, just here in the past couple of months, about the issue and,
right.
Wasn't good on the other end.
Have you guys? Yeah.
I expect that, but
right. You heard her. Yeah, you read a text that she'd read to her friend. That she'd sent to her friend about this issue. So, have you guys talked about this, outside the bedroom? Have you guys really had this conversation? Where okay, this is the situation. We love each other. We're staying together. What else could we do to kind of enhance this? Because I'm thinking you guys could take a tantric class. You guys could do sensual massage. You could get toys that work for you as well. I care about your penis right now. I want you to get a fleshlight, or the hot octopus pulse is a great that is a great toy that could feel amazing to you. You could use something like the WeVibe Sync, which is a wearable toy that is an insertion toy. So if you like the rubbing against her, then this toy would feel great for both of you. So I think rather than focusing on what can't happen now, that thank God we're 2018. There are so many ways you guys can please each other. And to be honest, for most people who aren't having challenges around this, they're pretty bored with their sex life as well when they've been together for 15, 20 years. So what I'm saying is we can turn this around. I know you, and I'm sorry, because this is challenging.
I've got friends who don't even hardly, they talk about once a month.
Exactly.
So I realize
you get it.
Normal after 17 years. But,
yeah. Okay. So what I think just kind of reframe this and be like, babe, maybe you guys have a night out, a date night, and you're talking, and you're like, let's just go to a sex toy store near you. Go online, figure out some other fun things that you guys could do together, fantasy list, playing with different sensations, things that you've never tried that might be totally outside of what you thought. Because I think you can bring back some really cool, hot sex that you never dreamed of before.
Right. Now, what about, I'm really surprisingly never really been all that self-conscious. I'm the kind of person that I have what I have, I am who I am. But it's kind of weighed on me, and I really haven't talked to anybody because, did you really want to go to your local town, your local doctor, your local therapist? And
you actually do. John, you actually do. I think you should, John, to be honest. I don't know what your injury was about. It was 6 years ago. I really think that this actually might be really great for you to have therapy. Because guys do not want to talk about their penises with anybody. So first, I want to tell you that I'm honored and thank you so much for calling me and for trusting me. Because I think this is a really big first step. And I feel for you. Like, this is not an easy situation. It's your penis. Like, for God, I get it. And so I think getting into it, like, if you could find a sex therapist near you, that would be amazing. Or somebody, it's okay to look around and find someone you feel comfortable with. Preferably a man would be great. And I think that, or a woman, I'm open. But I feel like you do actually need to talk to someone and get some more information. So I think there's a lot more here than your wife's pleasure.
How she feels.
Yeah, maybe you guys could go to.
That it's kind of a turnoff where it's inverted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing there. She's even admitted it. I know she loves me, but it does.
I think you guys can get past this because she's being honest, you're being honest about it, and I think a couples therapy session or individual couples, anything, I think you need it. It'll be great for you, John. Okay. I would love that for you guys. I really, that's the next step here because you're trying everything. You guys love each other. You want to make it work. I wouldn't get tripped up on what you read and what she saw. She loves you, and I think you guys need to try something different. Okay, John? So look at your insurance plan. Go see someone, and you're going to be so happy that you did. Talk about your penis. Talk about your situation.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, John.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thanks for calling. Oh, John. Okay, you guys, here's the thing. A lot of guys do not, John's situation is different than a lot of guys, but I feel like if you're at your doctor and you're going for a checkup or there's something wrong, he just said it. Well, no one wants to talk about their penis. Exactly. And that's exactly why you need to. And women need to go to their doctors and talk to them about any kind of pain or any challenges you're having around sex. I think it's so important, you guys. I love that you're calling me, but if you're having any pain or suffering, talk to your doctor. So thank you, John, for that call. Okay, we're talking to Nicole. She's 24 in Mexico, and she wants to know how to make FaceTime calls more sexy when you're in a long-distance relationship. Hey, Nicole.
Hello.
Well, I got to tell you, there's good news right now because there's been several studies that have come out that have said that it's the best time to be in a long-distance relationship, that they actually work out more frequently than we think. And with today's technology, there's a lot more success. So I just want to tell you that, the odds are in your favor here. Before we get started.
Good.
Okay, cool. So tell me what's going on. Tell me your question.
Okay, so I've been in a relationship with this guy we're going on close to 6 months. We haven't met in person yet. We're going to in December. But every time we are on FaceTime and things get a little steamy or sexual, I feel like everything is focused on me, which I'm like, okay, I really appreciate that you're trying to get me off, but like, I want him to have fun too. And I am not so good at, getting that started.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to approach the topic of, hey, I feel like you're not really participating like you should.
Okay. Yeah. No, I understand. But let me back up for a second. So you have never met him in real life yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So it's all been FaceTime calls mostly?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you guys meet?
We met off of social media. We ended up following each other through weird circumstance and then started talking.
Okay. Well, I think what might be really good is that what might be cool for you guys before you actually meet him to really get to know each other and build intimacy without the sex stuff right now. So you could have like a FaceTime date where you both you're having dinner, you're having a glass of wine. So it's like you're actually like having a real date, but you're sitting, you're staring into your computer screens at each other, your phone. And then you could have some conversations where you're really, learning things about each other. And you could play a game. There's some really fun sex games, or there's some questions you could ask, never have I ever. There was this, I wanted to find this article that just came out about questions that you could ask your partner that could really lead to more, and not just how was your day, because I'm sure you guys cover that stuff, but ways that you could kind of get more information and learn and connect in an intimate level, like the emotional intimacy before the sex, to find out more about each other. Because there's been a lot of build up here, it seems, and I would just love to sprinkle in some more of emotional connection, and then that might make it a lot easier for you to kind of maybe want to give back. So that's just my suggestion. But I can answer your question as well. So I understand also that if you've never, does that make sense to you, or is that something that you're interested in?
Oh, yeah, it does. It totally does.
Okay. So right now you're saying how do I get him to what would you like him to do? What would you like the result to be? You want him to get naked? You want to tell him what to do?
I feel like I'm not good at dirty talk.
Right. Okay.
So, ideally, I would like to get better at that and get him more involved. and like see more of him.
Right. Like get naked, like drop your pants.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's doing that with you right now. So he's like, hey, like you're hot. You know, I can't wait to touch you. Take your pants off. Like, is that how it's going down right now when you talk to him?
Pretty much.
Okay. And so because dirty talk is challenging for a lot of people, right? And then you haven't met him yet and you're staring into his eyes. So you don't even you can't even bury your your head in his chest during sex. You're like looking at him on the screen. So that's, that is another edge. So, here's the thing about dirty talk. Dirty Talk 101, because it's a comfort for a lot of people. And it's the kind of thing where you could watch porn, you could read erotica, but you really have to find your own voice with Dirty Talk. But the good news is, my best advice for Dirty Talk is either you describe something that has happened in the past, is that you would like to happen in the future, or something that you want to happen in the moment. So I think just saying like, I'd be so hot, you're so hot, I love looking at your abs or whatever he's showing you, like take your pants off, I'd love to see, your cock or whatever you'd feel comfortable saying, like whatever is actually true for you, and then, but I don't know, like on FaceTime, you haven't met him yet, and the escalation of that, I think it might be awkward. Just know that it's not going to feel great. Like, I don't think you're going to do it the first time, be like, I'm a natural, the first sentence that comes out of your mouth, but it's about developing it on your own. You could also try in the shower. Be like, you've talked to him enough. You could be like, okay, I know how this goes down. He's sitting in his room. I can see him from the waist up. And then you could just think about, what would I want to say to him in the moment? Like, what are you feeling, that you'd like to see? And then put words around that. And with dirty talk, another thing is, talk a little slower, a little bit of a deeper voice, but not like a, hey, baby. But, your own deeper, slower voice. And then just see how he reacts to that. But I don't want you to do it just because you think that he wants. I mean, if you really want to do it for him and you want to see him naked, that's awesome. But you said you want to give back to him. So make sure that it's something that you want for yourself. And not just because you think that that's what he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Well,
thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Nicole. Good luck with this, and I hope it all works out when you guys meet each other in person.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
you for calling Sex with Emily. So when I first heard this, I thought, oh, God, you guys haven't met yet. Because here's my thing. If you meet someone online or wherever, a lot of people just have this, they get into these whole relationships and we idealize people and we just assume that we create whole relationships when we've never met someone in person. We haven't touched them and smelled them and we don't know about the pheromones and all those things. So meet someone as soon as possible before you stretch out the relationship. So that's what I wanted for Nicole here, but kind of get the emotional intimacy and the physical intimacy. And that's what I think, Nicole. Let us know how it goes. We have Lydia. She's 28 from Seattle, and she feels a lack of sexual connection with her partner, not getting a lot of oral, and there's a lot going on here. Hey, Lydia, thanks for calling in.
Hi, thank you so much, Emily, for talking with me today.
Of course. Tell me what's going on.
All right, so my boyfriend and I are very in love and couldn't be in a more compassionate and playful relationship. We're both very open and honest with one another. Nothing is too taboo to discuss, especially sex.
Great.
But unfortunately, the sexual aspect of our relationship has gone pretty stale. And the reason is pretty delicate. And the soul-crushing phrase, "is it in?" kind of comes to mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His penis is definitely on the smaller side, but I'm not trying to stir up whether or not size matters because I've always been a believer in it's not how deep you fish, it's how you wiggle your worm.
Yes, I haven't heard that one. I've always heard not the size of the ship, it's the motion of the ocean, but okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah,
That's a great one. Okay.
Yeah, and although we have a whole drawer full of sex toys and things to spice sex up, even our foreplay has kind of become robotic. I find I'm only getting myself off with vibrators, and we've been together for almost 2 years, and he's never given me an orally stimulated orgasm.
Okay.
And he goes down on me and vice versa, but it's been almost 2 years of me coaching him and guiding him and never really achieving the goal.
Okay.
And I've always been more than happy to give pleasure, but part of the fun lies in your partner giving you, mind-blowing orgasms.
Exactly.
But when I'm only giving them to myself, it's like part of the fun is gone. And
absolutely. No, I totally get it. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, okay, so wait, I'm trying to understand. First of all, you're saying it's the size of the penis we don't really think is the issue. It's more about you really want some more oral satisfaction.
I think just him giving me orgasms, period, would be super
Got it.
hot.
You're like,
And
I'm not picky here. However I got the orgasm, I want it. So you said you've tried to explain to him, though, right? You've explained how you want oral, or you've talked about it, right? Like how you'd like him to go down on you.
Yeah, I'll go into depth and be very thorough and explain what my needs are and what feels good and what doesn't. And
Have you guys
even tried to?
How about mutual masturbation?
Yeah, we've done that before, plenty of times.
Okay. Have you had orgasms through oral sex before with previous partners?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's been 2 years. What do you think it is?
That's a good question. I've asked, and I think oftentimes when I ask, he kind of gets kind of self-conscious and he gets down on himself and he thinks he lacks the ability, even though I totally think he can do it.
Right, he can. You can do it. You can do it. So, okay.
Yeah.
I think I can.
Encouraging.
Okay, I'm just wondering, like, is this okay, are you guys talking about this outside the bedroom, or are you giving him are you giving him instructions in the moment?
Yeah, more so in the moment.
Yeah, so it might be that he's kind of in the moment going, he can't really settle into it because he's waiting for the next marching orders, right? Like, to the left, to the left, to the right. So I think we might have to, like, kind of slow this whole thing down with him, and maybe it's like the way that you talk about it, because it sounds like, he wants to please you, and you guys are in a very loving relationship. So I think just kind of mixing it up and maybe talking about it like outside of it when you guys are like, let's like just talk about this oral thing, baby. I super attracted to you, and let's just try to talk about this together. You could even do your own. You could even masturbate while he's just watching, so it's not even like a mutual situation. He's just like really watching what you do, but also just talking and saying like, how would he best like to learn? Like asking him a little bit more questions, because clearly it's not working in the moment, and you could tell him like, I have the utmost confidence in you. I know it's going to happen. Maybe it's the way I'm explaining it, and you guys could kind of like, take it outside of the bedroom and then talk about it and explain like your pleasure and how you like. So because I'm just trying to understand, what do you think if other people have done that before? Does it feel to you in the moment that he's nervous and you're like, move your tongue this way and you're like left and he's going right?
I definitely sense he's nervous, like in the moment when I do that, but before I do that, no.
Okay, so I think it's more about, maybe we take this off the table for a little bit. I don't know how long this has been. I know you're like, it's already been off the table, but maybe there has to be some more connecting in other ways. Like maybe you also, besides the oral, some intimate connections where you guys are like just, sensual massage, and you're like connecting in those kind of ways. And then he can kind of feel like he's giving you pleasure in other ways, and then going into the oral.
It's funny that because I'm actually a massage therapist.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
I don't want to use the word desensitized, but
so you don't want a massage. Good. I'm just trying to think of what would be something. Oh my God, it's so funny. I really want to. I should just marry a masseuse. It's my favorite thing ever, getting a massage. But I think that it's more about like him, if you're touching yourself and then like he can kind of like, you're getting yourself turned on and it's not about him. So then let him know that it's cool. You love him, like in a casual, like, let's just try it again, but I don't want you to be stressed out, babe. I wait my whole life for us to figure this out. So take the pressure off of him. And then he's kind of watching how you touch yourself. So either using a toy or your fingers, and then he's kind of following along. So, because I'm not sure, it might be in that moment thing. You're right. Like I get nervous in the moment if someone's trying to teach me something, so I use a toy. It's just my thing. I think, oh no, am I going to do this right? So it's like, I think it's the way we all learn differently. So maybe he's visual without the pressure of it having to happen because you're pleasing yourself in that moment and he's watching. And he could ask questions. You guys can make it fun. He could use a toy, He could use a toy on you. You could use a toy, and then you go down on him after rather than it being mutual.
Right.
Yeah, I think. How about that? How about you try some of that?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, lots of lube. I mean, yeah. So that's what I suggest. I think that a lot of times we just you're saying it the same way and you're explaining it the same way to him, but just kind of switching the way you communicate might be the thing that works. Right. So let me know how it goes.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you very much, Emily.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for calling. I appreciate it. Okay, you guys, so this is a really good point. I love this call because think about it. We often think that we've told our partner so many times and they're just not hearing us. Even just the art of the communication and saying something different or at different times. Some people are visual learners. Some people need to hear things 10 times. So just kind of, rather than saying I'm beating them over the head with it, think of how you can change the way you're delivering the message. And then there'll be more orgasms for all. We have Chad. He's 30 in Utah, and he wants to know how to bring up sex in a positive way. Hey, Chad. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thank you for taking me.
Of course. I am here for you. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, so I actually have a really great relationship with my wife talking about sex. It's actually been really fun and kind of led me to your guys' podcast and conversations just with her. But as I've listened to you guys, I actually want to have more of these conversations outside of, just my wife, with maybe friends or other couples. And so I wondered if, had any experience and advice on, how to get that with other people.
I love this question.
I've heard you say that guys don't talk about it enough to each other either. So
They don't. God, Chad, this is like a dream question because this is going to set an example for so many people because we don't talk about it enough. And, I always say be that friend that brings it up. So now you're saying, how do I bring it up? So do you picture yourself like hanging out with your guy friends?
Yeah. Okay. Even there, because I think in past experience, guys, especially at a late high school, early college age, it's more about, the score. Or,
yeah, exactly.
Who I was with, or I saw her nude picture.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Something like that. But it's not.
I banged her, I didn't bang her. I want to bang her friend.
Yeah.
End of story. Yeah. So, okay, Chad, this is great. So I think when you're talking to your guy friends, you could just, just say to them, you could even blame it on me. My wife and I, we've been listening to this podcast, and I realized, I talked to my wife, but I'd love to hear, let's talk about your sex life, or how often do you have sex, or what's your sex life? This is what we've been doing, and it's helped us so much. How about this? I've been with my wife, and we actually talk about sex in this way that's actually really helped us. And I'm wondering, do you and your wife talk about sex? So actually, you can start the talk about sex asking them if they talk about sex with their partners. And then from there, you'd be like, yeah, well, what kind of things you talk about? And you could even share. So that's how it starts. And seeing if they're comfortable with that, just saying, do you guys talk about it? And then your friend might just say, yeah, we do. Let them know. I think being authentic and being honest here and saying, you know what? I realize that it's really helped my wife and I, but I don't really talk to my friends about it. Would you feel comfortable talking about it? About your experiences, or, what kind of information would you like to find out, Chad? How do you see the conversation going down?
Oh, I'm interested in what you guys are talking about, with masturbation habits and even what they do to their spouse or that they wish their spouse would be into, or if they've talked about those type of things with their spouse, or things that are off limits in the bedroom, or the kinks and the fetishes that I hear you guys talk about
exactly
all the time.
I think that's great. I think not everyone's going to be down with it, but I've found in my experience that most people are. When they hear what I do for a living, they're like, oh my God, we don't talk about it enough. So I think you're going to have a lot of luck in this department, and you just want to start off so what's your kink? But just hey, I got to ask you something. I know we've never talked about this before, but I'm asking for a reason. I have found that talking about sex with my wife has really changed the landscape of our relationship, and I want to know, do you have experience with that? I think it'd be, I always wonder, what do other people talk about? And then you're going to see if they open up. And I think it'll just become a natural conversation. And what I love about this is that I think it actually really enhances the intimacy you have with your guy friends. I think that guys should talk about this more. So I love it. How does that sound?
I like it.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Good.
And just, keep asking questions, see if they're comfortable. It might take them a second. And also, you could also let them know, dude, I'm not asking for, I'm safe. I'm not going to be talking to anyone else about this. I just think that, I'm not going to be sharing it. hopefully make that pact. A lot of my friends talk to me about their husbands or their wives, and I don't share it. It's a safe place. So you can let them know, I'm really just, this isn't about gossip. I actually think we could learn from each other. And I think that would just be an incredibly brave, authentic moment and could change your relationship. So, yeah.
I like it. Thank you.
Okay. I like it too, Chad. Let me know how it goes. I love that.
Okay. No problem.
Thanks, Chad. Have a great day. Thanks for calling Sex with Emily. I love this. I love when people listen to the show and then they call and they're like, I want to try that thing that you suggested. You guys, I think that we all learn from each other. And so to have a man calling up and saying, I really would love to hear what's going on in my friend's sex lives, not for titillation, but just to learn, is amazing. So that made my day. Thank you, Chad. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed this show. Thanks to my amazing team, Ken, Sarah, producer Jamie, and Michael. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.